What's good, beautiful people? It's your main man, Big G, here on Industry Talk, and welcome to Primetime Pod, the hottest information resource outlet for all things entertainment, breaking news, celebrity interviews, and the hot topics of the day. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow us on all social media platforms, our Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, you name it, we're on it. Just Google us. Boss Talk Podcast 101 Primetime.
Okay. Shit. Primetime Pod. Make sure you check it
How? Why the fuck you think he missing? He say that.
Shit, and Centerville a whole lot.
Now I'm not trying to get a little messy with you.
Time is money.
They go trap.
What's good, beautiful people? It's your main man, Big G, coming at you all the way live. I'm in your space and I'm in your face, and I'm blessed to see you guys and be here for another day. A lot of interesting things that have been taking place across the country, globally, and we're gonna jump into it. We have a great show for you today. Two interesting guests that I will be bringing on board. One, Mr. William Hussey with I Am King magazine. We had the opportunity to link up with him last week, and because of a technical issue, we couldn't get that interview locked in like we wanted to with he and Terry Allred, but we did have a great discussion with Terry Allred. And today we're going to talk with William Hussey about I Am King magazine. They just had their recent release party. They had a great time. We're going to talk to him about that and some of the things that he's got going on with the magazine. We're going to jump into some of that conversation a little bit later on in the show. I'll also have an opportunity to speak with Miss Kaylin McCoy with McCoy Marketing and Media, and we will be going over some of the things that she's bringing to the table and running down the pipeline with her organization and her company. This will be a good opportunity for individuals that have questions, comments, and concerns to bring it to the table, to present it, to let me know what's on your mind. And if you need assistance from an entrepreneur like Kaylin McCoy with McCoy Marketing and Media, I am sure that she will be more than happy to assist you in your efforts, in your growing needs for your business, for your brand, for you as an entity wanting to expand on social media or through social media and creating your digital footprint to expand what it is that you have going on currently. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. I'm right now making sure that all of my social media platforms are ticking and are in good order, from Twitch, LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and IG. We are simulcasting across all of these platforms. So whatever it is that you enjoy the most, lock in with us. We are there. Industry Talk is there. And of course, before I get too far into everything that I'm doing today, it's always about showing some love to my brother, ECEO, and my sister, the official Ms. Jamaica, and the Boss Talk family. Boss Talk Podcast 101, Boss Talk Podcast 101 Primetime. If, in fact, you have not downloaded our app, make sure you do so. BossTalk101.app. You can actually download the app on Google Store or the Play Store. And yes, indeed, this is for all of you who are interested in subscribing to the network. Stop what you're doing right now and go subscribe to Boss Talk Podcast 101 Primetime on YouTube, all social media platforms. Boss Talk Podcast 101 Primetime. Like, share, subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to make sure you tap in. right now over 72,000 subscribers and well over 11 million views and watch time hours. So make sure that you continue to support, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, and keep tapping in with us, because we're going to keep on bringing you this hot content every day and in every way. It's your main man, Big G. And make sure, like I said, stop what you're doing right now and tap in. Like, share, subscribe. Boss Talk Podcast 101 Prime Time. Prime Time. Boss Talk Podcast 101. We are definitely one of the hottest, fastest growing podcast, entertainment news, and reviews segments that are out on the social media platforms present day. It doesn't get any better than sitting in, locking in with us and hearing what it is that we bring to the table. And also we make sure that you are an active participant in everything that we're doing. We want you to engage. We want you to like, share, comment, share, all of the things that we bring to the table. So let's keep it moving. We're going to talk about trending topics for today, and one in particular that caught my attention, because we have to figure out what it is that our country is doing. What are we doing? Are we posturing? Are we actively engaging? Are we on the hunt? What is it that we're doing as a country that puts us in a position to do some of the things that we do without asking the question, is it necessary? And a lot of times, we put the onus on the current president, Donald Trump, but in some of the conversation that you're going to hear right now, you're going to see that these things have been ongoing for quite some time. This isn't new revelations. These actions aren't just arbitrary. These are things that have been taking place. So I want you to pay attention to the content. I want you to pay attention to what's being said. But just to bring you up to speed, today is January the 5th, 2026, and we're talking about UN News, United Nations News, the global perspective and human stories. And we're talking about peace and security, to be more specific. The Security Council, the UN Security Council, met in an emergency session in New York to address the U.S. rendition of Venezuela's president, Nicolas Maduro, from Caracas, a move that has sent shockwaves through the region and beyond. The UN chief, Antonio Gutierrez, told ambassadors there must be respect for national sovereignty, political independence, and territorial integrity, after warning on Saturday that the U.S. had set a dangerous precedent for the world order. So in listening to, or in reading that to you, I want to play an excerpt from the entire meeting. I sat down and I listened to the entire meeting, but there's some things that kind of stood out with what has taken place, and I want you to be aware of it. Now, I'm not sure how the pixelation is going to be. Hopefully it works the way it needs to work for me, but I want you to pay attention to what's being said. The reason why I want you to pay attention to what's being said, because there is a groundswell of support for other nations, sovereign nations, that are rallying up against what, in fact, the United States has done. Now, whether you're in support or not, that is not what I'm here to dictate or determine. What I am saying is I'm presenting the information to you so that you will be aware of what's taking place in the political realm and on the national scale with entities such as the United Nations. So is the UN now at this point debunked? Is it relevant? Is it necessary? Or are we going to take linear approaches to making sure that we are posturing to make sure and ensure that the safety and security of the United States is always in place, always in play, and is always in check. So let's take a listen to some of the commentary and comments that have been presented at this Security Council emergency meeting that was held in New York just recently.
The operational agenda of this meeting is the threat to international peace and security. The agenda is adopted. In accordance with Rule 37 of the Council's Provisional Rules of Procedure, I invite the representatives of Argentina, Brazil, Chile, Cuba, Eritrea, Islamic Republic of Iran, Mexico, Nicaragua, Paraguay, South Africa, Spain, Trinidad and Tobago, Uganda, and the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela to participate in this meeting. It's so decided. In accordance with Rule 39 of the Council's Provisional Rules of the Procedure, I invite the following briefers to participate in this meeting. Ms. Rosemary DiCarlo, the Undersecretary General for the Political and Peace-Building Affairs. Mr. Jeffrey Sachs, President of UN Sustainable Development Solutions Network and Director of Center for Sustainable Development at Columbia University, and Ms. Mercedes de Freitas, Founder and Executive Director of Transparencia Venezuela. Is so decided. Security Council will now begin its consideration for item 2 of the agenda. I now give the floor to Ms. Rosemary DiCarlo.
Thank you, Mr. President. Today, I'm going to deliver a statement from Secretary General Antonio Guterres, who was not able to be here this morning. Mr. President, members of the Security Council, we meet at a grave time following the 3 January United States military action in the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela. The broad outlines of the events of Saturday have been widely reported. Early that day, U.S. forces were active across Caracas and in the northern states of Miranda, Aragua, and La Guaira. The extent of casualties resulting from these actions remains undetermined. In a statement on social media on Saturday, President Donald Trump announced the conduct of a, I quote, large-scale strike against Venezuela and its leader, President Nicolas Maduro, end quote. During a press conference on Saturday, President Trump stated, and I quote again, "We are going to run the country until such time that we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition," end quote. The government of Venezuela has characterized the United States action as a military aggression carried out in civilian and military areas and as a flagrant violation of the Charter, posing a threat to international and regional peace and security. As we speak, President Maduro is being held in New York, accused by U.S. authorities, along with his wife, Celia Flores, of serious criminal offenses. What is less certain is the immediate future of Venezuela. I am deeply concerned about the possible intensification of the instability in the country, the potential impact on the region, and the precedent it may set for how relations between and among states are conducted. Mr. President, the situation in Venezuela has been a matter of regional and international concern for many years now. Attention on the country only grew following the contested presidential elections in July 2024. The panel of electoral experts I appointed at the Venezuelan government's request to accompany the elections highlighted serious issues. We have consistently called for the full transparency and the complete publication of the results of the elections. As reported to the Council on 23 December, the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights has cataloged serious violations. On 3 January, Venezuelan interim President Delcy Rodriguez invoked an emergency decree throughout the national territory, extending additional security powers to the government. Mr. President, the latest developments follow a period of heightened tensions beginning in mid-August, as discussed in this Council on 2 previous occasions. I have consistently stressed the imperative of full respect by all for international law, including the Charter of the United Nations, which provides the foundation for the maintenance of international peace and security. I remain deeply concerned that rules of international law have not been respected with regard to the 3 January military action. The Charter enshrines the prohibition of the threat or use of force against the territorial integrity or political independence of any state. The maintenance of international peace and security depends on the continued commitment of all member states to adhere to all the provisions of the Charter. Mr. President, Venezuela has experienced decades of internal instability and social and economic turmoil. Democracy has been undermined. Millions of its people have fled the country. The situation is critical, but it is still possible to prevent a wider and more destructive conflagration. I call on all Venezuelan actors to engage in an inclusive, democratic dialogue in which all sectors of society can determine their future. This entails the full respect of human rights, the rule of law, and the sovereign will of the Venezuelan people. I also urge Venezuela's neighbors and the international community more broadly to act in a spirit of solidarity and in adherence to the principles, laws, and rules erected to promote peaceful coexistence. I welcome and am ready to support all efforts aimed at assisting Venezuelans in finding a peaceful way forward. Mr. President, Excellencies, in situations as confused as complex as the one we now face, it is important to stick to principles. Respect for the UN Charter and all other applicable legal frameworks to safeguard peace and security. Respect for the principles of sovereignty, political independence, and territorial integrity of states. The prohibition of the threat or use of force. The power of the law must prevail. International law contains tools to address issues such as illicit traffic in narcotics, disputes about resources, and human rights concerns. This is the route we need to take. Thank you, Mr. President.
All right. Well, hopefully you've caught a grasp of the direction that Gutierrez was speaking about and the point that he was trying to make. And actually, the undersecretary was reading his statements. He wasn't actually available to be there on his own. But you can hear through the statements that the rhetoric and the tone is trying to lambaste the United States for its recent actions. And if you do the history lesson, this wasn't something that just happened overnight. This wasn't a decision that President Trump made overnight. Now, don't sit there and put yourself in the mind frame of whether I'm for or against. What I'm doing is I'm presenting you with the information. I want you to sit there and do more research and figure out on your own if, in fact, what we have done is legal or illegal, because they're trying to paint the picture as though what has happened is illegal. And we've actually trampled on a nation's sovereignty when it comes to the peace of our country, the safety and security of our country. I'm going to give you another excerpt by Sachs, who's going to give you a lesson, a history lesson, so to speak, of where a lot of this has come from, where it's spurned from, what has taken place, and then it'll give you a little bit more objectivity in terms of how to evaluate this information. Now, keep in mind that all of these individuals are pundits, they're talking heads, they're a part of the UN Security Council. So it's all about words. It's all about what you say, how you say, when you say, and why you're saying what you're saying. A lot of these individuals are in coordination with the intelligence communities. They are intelligence gatherers. These are the individuals that are selected, they're not elected, and put into position to be either their ambassadors of state or their secretaries of ambassadors of the state, to press the narrative or push the messaging based on what it is that needs to go out or be disseminated to the public. So how you process this information, you have to look at it from a nation's standpoint. You can't look at it from me just being a singular individual, but you also have to look at it from the global impact that these words actually play when it comes to these are the decisions that are being made in the high places, and you don't even know these people. If you can't sit here and name the individuals that we're talking about, or even have reference, a point of reference to who it is that we're talking about and why they're in the position that they're in, and have the ability to talk about what it is that they're talking about, then you really need to reposition yourself in terms of what it is that you're processing and picking up in your day-to-day life. Because you're missing the boat, and we don't know if we're on the verge of war, if we're in the position of peace, if we're doing anything illegal. You have no point of reference to know what is really taking place on a global scale that directly impacts us as U.S. citizens. And this is what I do believe you need to pay attention to when it comes to humanity, when it comes to peace and serenity, when it comes to security, and how we allow a very small, selected few of individuals tell us and dictate to us how they're going to implement safety and security on the broad stroke of the backs of the American people, and how we're viewed across the board on a global scale, and what others are saying directly about us, and especially with the different types of actions that are taking place. Is Venezuela a narco state? Are they distributing drugs? Are they in positions to whereas we've been tracking and knowing that these are the things that have been taking place for quite some time? You have to ask yourself these questions, and can't just put the onus on Donald Trump, President Trump, when he makes the decisions to act the way that he's acting, because it's not like it's a singular thought and, hey, this is what we're going to do. You can best believe there's a succession or a line or a chain of command in terms of once he's made the decision to green light a particular action, it's been thought about. It's been workshopped. It's been beat around. It's gone around the block. And, the action in itself may not necessarily be favorable to the eyes of the American public, but yet, in fact, there is a reason why. So I'm going to present Sachs's commentary, and I'm going to let you hear what he has to say. But as he's speaking, I need you to pay attention to where a lot of this has started from, where it spurns from, where it comes from, so that you can sit there and make an active decision in how you feel about certain things, how you look at certain things that are happening in the U.S. today.
I now give the floor to Mr. Jeffrey Sachs.
Mr. President, distinguished members of the Security Council, the issue before the Council today is not the character of the government of Venezuela. The issue is whether any member state, by force, coercion, or economic strangulation, has the right to determine Venezuela's political future or to exercise control over its affairs. This question goes directly to Article 2, Section 4 of the United Nations Charter, which prohibits the threat or use of force against the territorial integrity or political independence of any state. The Council must decide whether that prohibition is to be upheld or abandoned. Abandoning it would carry consequences of the gravest kind. Let me offer some background. Since 1947, the United States foreign policy has repeatedly employed force, covert action, and political manipulation to bring about regime change in other countries. This is a matter of carefully documented historical record. In her book, Covert Regime Change, political scientist Lindsay O'Rourke documents 70 attempted U.S. regime change operations between 1947 and 1989 alone. These practices did not end with the Cold War. Since 1989, major United States regime change operations undertaken without authorization by the Security Council have included, among the most consequential, Iraq 2003, Libya 2011, Syria beginning in 2011, Honduras 2009, Ukraine 2014, and Venezuela from 2002 onward. The methods employed are well established and well documented. They include open warfare, covert intelligence operations, instigation of unrest, support for armed groups, manipulation of mass and social media, bribery of military and civilian officials, targeted assassinations, false flag operations, and economic warfare. These measures are illegal under the UN Charter, and they typically result in ongoing violence, lethal conflict, political instability, and deep suffering of the civilian population. The recent U.S. record with respect to Venezuela is also clear. In April 2002, the U.S. knew of and approved an attempted coup against the government. In the 2010s, the United States funded civil society groups actively engaged in anti-government protests. When the government cracked down on the protests, the U.S. followed with a series of sanctions. In 2015, President Barack Obama declared Venezuela to be, and I quote, an unusual and extraordinary threat to the national security and foreign policy of the United States. In 2017, at a dinner with Latin American leaders on the margin of the UN General Assembly, President Trump openly discussed the option of the U.S. invading Venezuela to overthrow the government. During 2017 to 2020, the United States imposed sweeping sanctions on the state oil company PDVSA. Oil production fell by 75% from 2016 to 2020, and the real GDP per capita declined by 62%. The UN General Assembly has repeatedly voted overwhelmingly against such unilateral coercive measures. Under international law, only the Security Council has the authority to impose such measures. On the 23rd of January 2019, the United States unilaterally recognized Mr. Juan Guaido as interim president, and a few days later froze approximately $7 billion of Venezuelan sovereign assets held abroad and gave the designated authority over certain of these assets. These actions form part of a continuous U.S. regime change effort spanning more than 2 decades. In the past year, the United States has carried out bombing operations in 7 countries, none of which were authorized by the UN Security Council, and none of which were undertaken in lawful self-defense under the Charter. The targeted countries include Iran, Iraq, Nigeria, Somalia, Syria, Yemen, and now Venezuela. In the past month, President Trump has issued direct threats against 6 UN member states, including Colombia, Denmark, Iran, Mexico, Nigeria, and of course, Venezuela. Members of the Council are not called upon to judge Nicolas Maduro. They are not called upon to assess whether the recent U.S. attack and ongoing naval quarantine results in freedom or in subjugation. Members of the Council are called upon to defend international law, and specifically the UN Charter. The realist school of international relations, articulated most brilliantly by John Mearsheimer, accurately describes the condition of international anarchy as the tragedy of great power politics. Realism is therefore a description, not a solution for peace. Its own conclusion is that anarchy leads to tragedy. In the aftermath of World War I, the League of Nations was created to end the tragedy through the application of international law. Yet the world's leading nations failed to defend international law in the 1930s, leading to renewed global war. The United Nations emerged from that catastrophe as humanity's second great effort to place international law above international anarchy. In the words of the Charter, the UN was created, quote, to save succeeding generations from the scourge of war, which twice in our lifetime has brought untold sorrow to mankind. Given that we are in the nuclear age, failure cannot be repeated. Humanity would perish. There would be no third chance. To fulfill its responsibilities under the Charter, the Security Council should immediately affirm the following actions. The United States shall immediately cease and desist from all explicit and implicit threats or use of force against Venezuela. The United States shall terminate its naval quarantine and all related coercive military measures undertaken in the absence of authorization by the UN Security Council. The United States shall immediately withdraw its military forces from within and along the perimeter of Venezuela, including intelligence, naval, air, and other forward deployed assets positioned for coercive purposes. Venezuela shall adhere to the UN Charter and to the human rights protected in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. The Secretary General, I recommend, should immediately appoint a special envoy mandated to engage relevant Venezuelan and international stakeholders and to report back to the Security Council within 14 days with recommendations consistent with the Charter. And the Security Council should remain urgently seized of this matter. All member states should refrain from unilateral threats, coercive measures, or armed actions undertaken outside the authority of the UN Security Council. In closing, Mr. President and distinguished members of the Council, peace and the survival of humanity depend on whether the United Nations Charter remains a living instrument of international law or is allowed to wither into irrelevance. That is the choice before this Council today. Thank you very much.
Okay, so I wanted to bring that to your attention. I wanted to make sure that we're understanding what's being said. Like I said, none of this is new. Since 2002, we're looking at actions that have been taken against Venezuela. Obama in 2015 stated that Venezuela was a national security threat. And of course, Trump decides to take action during his reign as president currently. So is what Sachs saying a misappropriated understanding of what we as Americans are supposed to do, what our country is supposed to do when it comes to protecting our country, invoking sanctions on different nations that may be participating in illicit activities that inevitably may harm our country? You have to make me understand, the position that we're supposed to take as Americans. Because for some odd reason, we're the big bad wolf, but yet, in fact, we have been in negotiations, in talks, in conversation with a lot of these countries as it relates to what it is that they're doing, how they're imposing different things across the board, and how they're acting, and of course, us being civilians, we have no idea what's happening behind the curtain. You have no clue of what's really taking place. Now, do we act in such a way that chaos is the order of the day? Is that the norm? In a lot of situations, yes, we do. I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm not sitting here taking a side or a position. I'm just presenting the facts of the matter and what these individuals are talking about and how they're posturing, how they're positioning themselves. And we may not necessarily be paying attention. So that is my news segment for today. I'm not going to go too much more into it because I've brought you the information. If in fact you want to follow up, you are more than welcome to go to news.un.org and you can find the full 3-hour conversation. I listened to all of it on their website, and you be the judge. You be the individual that formulates your own opinion in terms of what's really taking place and how we as a people are participating actively in this or not. Is that what we're doing? Because we have to start paying attention to these things, because a lot of times people start to spew out rhetoric, and you start putting things out into the ether like war, world war. Just like Sachs was saying, we're all a part of this nuclear society at this point. There is no turning back. We're talking about an annihilation of a species if we make the wrong move. And based on what it is that power does to the mind, absolute power, as it corrupts the mind, what are these people really willing and capable of doing? So how do we put a stop to it? Are we leaning or falling away from being a democratic society into that of a despot of totalitarianism, an altruistic matter where you have individuals that rule in a singular minded order, and you have no say in the matter? And I can assure you, there are a lot of you present day that still have no idea, based on how civics works, how general elections work, how the Electoral College works, You don't even go vote. So you have no idea based on what it is that you're requesting and stating or even arguing about where it even has some room for conversation, because you're not a part of the system when it comes to making a decision. We just want to hoop, holler, and shout, but we're not actively participating in local government, city government, state government, federal government. So things to think about. I'm off my soapbox on trending news for today, and I am currently waiting for some individuals to jump into the queue so that we can open our conversation. I'm supposed to be talking with Mr. William Hussey today about I Am King magazine. I'm also supposed to be having a conversation with Miss Kaylin McCoy. I'm not going to be on here too long today. Like I said, I'm going to do 30 minutes to an hour of conversation. That's all I can give you. That's all I can give. That's all I'm going to give you. But at the same time, it's going to be in depth. It's going to be really good information, news that you can use. And if you have those links, Hussey, William Hussey, or Kayla McCoy, I've sent you the links. If you guys are paying attention, if you're listening, if you tapped in, if you can't, we will reschedule. But at the same time, while we're waiting, we are here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And we will jump into great conversation, great information, and we're going to put it in your face and in your space, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to have a great time going into 2026. This is the start of what we're doing here on Industry Talk on the Primetime Network every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And for the artist, I'm doing artist segment on Friday, and this is directly for you. Pay attention. Are you an independent artist looking for real exposure and an honest discussion about your music and your brand? If this is you, and if that's the case, I am currently accepting submissions for my Friday Artist Spotlight segment on Industry Talk, where I highlight rising independent artists, discuss your journey, along with putting your work in front of a growing audience of content creators, executives, and tastemakers. To submit your information, follow the content submission link in my bio on Instagram, or follow the link in the description on Facebook. So this is about real artists, real stories, and real opportunities. If you're working, building, and you're serious about your craft, I definitely want to hear. And as always, beautiful people, this is about health, wealth, and wisdom. Stay down. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. We are back. We're in your space. We're in your face. And it looks like I have Miss McCoy that is going to join us. I tried to reach out to William Hussey with I Am Magazine, and I think he may have gotten caught up, might be a little busy. So we'll give that a try here in just a little bit. Miss Kayla McCoy is, of course, an industry leader. I would consider her an industry leader as it relates to her given profession as a journalist, as a public relations guru, marketing and media. And she is launching her marketing and media company, McCoy Marketing, and Media. And we're going to bring her on here in just a moment to jump into what it is that she's bringing to the table and to give you guys some ideas in terms of how to do it and how to do it right. Now, we're going to have some good conversation, about everything, a little bit about everything, but I want you to pay attention to how she's presenting her pitch deck, what it is that she wants to present to you as a general audience. But know that if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave them in the DM, instant message me, email me, whatever the case may be, and we will follow up with you on this live. So just to give you a little upfront about what's going on, let me show you a quick snippet here for McCoy Marketing and Media. About that, so I'm gonna give it to you one more again because it's so fly. Yes, and then I'm going to add Miss McCoy to the stream, and we're going to get into it. Let's see. What's going on, Miss KK? Can you hear me?
Hello. How are you? Yes, I can.
Indeed.
Can you hear me?
Oh, I certainly can. Is there any way that you can turn your device horizontal so that we can fill the screen? Can you do that, or is that your computer?
Is this fine? Does this work?
That turns you sideways all the way together. You flip it back the other way. I'll figure it out. Flip it back the other way. There you go. Let's see here.
Okay.
Yeah, flip it back the other way.
What if I turn this way? What about this way? Does this work?
No, you're fine. Just keep it how you got it. We'll make it work. We're gonna make it work.
Okay.
We're gonna make it work.
Because I'm okay.
Okay. Boom. And
Okay.
There you go. All right, Miss KK. Boom. That works even better. How you doing today, Kay?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I appreciate you for coming on to the show and to the program. And I've been getting some buzz. I've been hearing some information about you jump starting and kicking off McCoy Marketing and Media. Give me a little bit of background about what you got going on. Talk to me.
So I'll kind of just go a little bit to the genesis of it. Since a kid, my family has always been big on storytelling. And so as a child, I was able to be a part of so many avenues in the arts to help build me to where I am today. So I was in dance. I performed in many theater acts and things like that. Like I was like a child actor, and I was doing all kind of like always in school plays. I did a little bit of on camera and commercials and stuff like that locally. And I give it all to number one, God and my family, because we would have family reunions and just really almost every weekend we're all kicking it on the porch. And that was our time to just like battle in the arts. So we'll be having rapping competitions. Some of me and my cousins will come up with dances, and then we'll be battling each other with dances. It was always a performance, and then we'll get in front of the elders and like perform in front of them. And so it was like always storytelling. And then what we learned from the elders is when we would have different family members come from out of town, and they would just reminisce and tell stories. And I think the best part about it was how they, was able to articulate the story and have like the rise and the build and just bringing so many different elements to it to where, you know, it makes you so excited to hear more, and it's so charismatic, and you get to just see the different characters in your life, and it just helps inspire you to, when you go out there in the world, tell the story. And so as a child, I was just always different. I was everywhere, I was just always different. And so I had to learn at an early age how to own that and not shy away from being different than those around me, and really take from what I've learned with my family to just tell the story. So when I got different roles and things like that, I just was just me. And that's why I was able to land in certain roles and be able to have those different type of opportunities. And when I was in elementary, I was a part of our school anchoring system. I guess we had our own little news station, and so I was an anchor, and I also worked behind camera. And but my favorite thing as a child was to be on camera, and so that's what I did. And then in middle school, I led the school's media, and I worked on camera and behind camera, and I created backdrops and just developed so many different relationships. And that was just on early on, me creating videos and telling the story. And when I got to high school, same thing. I was creating videos, and throughout throughout those times, I didn't realize what I was doing. I didn't realize the things that, you know, from a young age and how those things carried on with me. I was just doing it because it was fun. I was just doing it because I like to be creative and just show and help people see what I see. And so as I went off to college, Mississippi State, majored in sports admin with a focus in communications, and was a part of sports marketing. I got to learn so much about telling the story and helping bring athletes story to life, because everyone has a different thing about them. You could be playing the same sport, but you have a specific element about you that makes you special. And so my thing has always been, you know, helping bring people's vision to life. And so I think that's the thing that carried on. And so after I graduated Mississippi State, I went on Jackson State and was a part of just a movement with Coach Prime. And I learned so much from the system and did a podcast there, just did so much, and was able to interview a lot of prolific people in our community as a whole. And I just learned so much about the importance of storytelling. And so now I have just developed that essence of, you know, I just want to be able to help people shine the light that most people don't know that's there. You know, a lot of people are doing so many great things in the community, so many great things behind closed doors, and a lot of people don't know about it. But when they meet me and they want to know more about how to bring forth their vision, show what their brand is about, show what they do, I believe I can help bridge that gap. And so that's what I do. And I am the heart of it all with McCoy Marketing and Media is storytelling, because that's the foundation of it all.
Okay, well, let's since you said this was the genesis of your situation with McCoy Marketing and Media, and when I say the genesis, you're just jumping this off, but you were making reference to where it all began, following up through middle school, high school, going through college. Let me ask you this so that the people will know where you're from. Where are you located? Where are you from originally?
Okay, so I don't know why you I'm originally from Meridian, Mississippi, born and
Okay.
raised. But I do travel.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay, so being from Meridian, the Queen City, there are what I would consider that is like the hotbed of talent. There's so much that comes out of Meridian, Mississippi in general. You know, I'm an advocate for Mississippi, but Meridian in general, you have Ruffin, you have different others. You have the young man just recently that won American Idol. What's Jamal Roberts. You yourself were Miss Meridian. You know, you were a pageant queen, and you went on to represent the state in many different facets. But you know, give me a little bit of a background about Meridian, what you see in Meridian, what you know can come out of the great city of Meridian and the like, and the people. Talk to me about the people of Meridian as well.
I think the people of Meridian are like no other. I've
Mm-hmm.
been many places. I've been so many places, but I have never um, been in a community quite like Meridian. The people here are very strong, very, family oriented, and it's because of the different trials and tribulations, I think, that started way back way back in the day, where it was, civil rights movement. There were so many prolific things that happened within our community in the civil rights movement. The summer of '68, that there was like a big old, like, outside, it's just like a big church event, and it's a historical monument now, but there were so many people that came from all walks of life, and they just had church outside. It was just like it was so many things that happened within that time frame that brought a lot of people that weren't from Meridian to Meridian. And
Mm-hmm.
even in those times, a lot of people was moving from the south to Chicago. It was like a direct pipeline, but even those people came back. A lot of people came back, and I think that with the different small Black-owned businesses, the people support them, like, from back in the day to now. There was a lot of just um, homeliness, if that's a word, just a lot of uh, camaraderie. Like, it's just a lot of help from the community. There were a lot of people back then that helped one another, and when people helped one another, that's what built the community. So when there was someone who was just academically inclined, people would do what they could to support this person to go off to school. When someone had, immaculate singing abilities, the people, the city, the churches would come together to help this person go to the next level as much as they could. If someone had awesome, athletic abilities, people within the community poured into the athletes to help them go to the next level. And I think that's what built Meridian. That's what set Meridian apart, was the talent of the people, the talent of people musically, with the arts, just in the arts in general. Um, the system within the city government, them placing different programs within the city, helped a lot of people be able to express or even have the opportunity to see things differently. We have down there Riley Center, the orchestra and all that. I remember growing up and seeing different things, and there being plays, Meridian Little Theater. Like, that was an avenue for a lot of kids to be able to get into the world of arts and entertainment, and that was a key element for me. So I think that early on, Meridian has provided that. I think it could be better. I see changes, I see things, I see a difference being made. I see people doing things to help, kind of move with the times, because times have changed. But the core essence of Meridian is a lot of people that just supported one another and went hard for one another. And I think that's what that solid foundation was built off of, that community essence, and the importance of community, the importance of support and building one another. I think that's how it has been, and I think it's going to be more to come.
Okay. Okay. I can see that you're a true advocate for for the great city of Meridian, the Queen City, and I can appreciate those words. I'm sure the people of Meridian can appreciate those words. So the follow up has to be, what can and what does McCoy Marketing and Media bring to the table, not only for the city of Meridian, but the great state of Mississippi, surrounding areas, and what it is that you're bringing to the table, just in you creating this business outlet to assist individuals with their business, their branding, telling their story. Give me the onset of what it is that you have in mind.
I think with McCoy Marketing Media, our vision is to is to serve. Number one, we want to serve our clients. We want to make them feel like we actually care about what they do. I'm very specific on who we work with because our foundations is number one on Christ. And whoever we work with, we want to be able to bring a whatever it is that their mission and vision is, it is our goal for others to see it, for others to feel it. It's one thing to just see what somebody else, what a company or what a corporation or what a small business or an individual has going on. It's another thing to feel it. And you can look at the video or read into the reel and see the grit, the grind, the heart, the heart behind it. I want the clients to understand that, it's not just about a video, it's not just about a picture, it's not just about, just sending out newsletters. No, it's a movement, it's a team, and you want to build community. And so that's my essence of McCoy Marketing Media. That's what we bring to the table. I think that's what gives us a competitive edge and sets us apart from others, which really makes us unique because we're really wanting to get to know our clients, get to know them. What's their backstory? What's your why? What's your mission? What's your vision? Where do you see your business going in the next few years? We ask questions differently. It's very nuanced because it's so many layers to it. And in order for us to be able to bring anyone's vision to life, we help individuals find out their own vision as well. Because sometimes you can have a business and you can have a lot going on and not necessarily know the vision of it. You could be moving in operation and you may not know exactly like, where do I want to go? Or I didn't know I could go this far. I didn't know things could be this big. And it's like, yes, with the proper marketing, proper media, it can be, I just always see it like the sky is not the limit. It can go far past it. We have galaxies out, so the sky is absolutely not the limit. But our goal is storytelling, because when you hear a story, that's gonna make your people, whomever is connected to you, whomever is supposed to be supporting your business, connected to your business in any way, shape, or form, they're gonna hear your story and it's gonna resonate to them in some form or fashion. So storytelling
Okay.
is key for us.
It's vital. It's vital. Okay, hold on just one second because I want to ask you about this clip because I know you created this clip. So let me run it right quick. When you create, when you have a vision, when you come with the fashion and the design and the quick, L cuts and the sharp imagery, how are you inspired? Where does that come from, KK? Because that was a sharp clip that you've pushed out, representing McCoy Marketing and Media. So give me a little background about how it is that you've come up with magic. You know what I'm saying? And I hate to use the word magic because you're a spiritual individual. You believe in Christ, and that's at the forefront of everything that you do. So where's that inspiration? Let me use that word. Where's that inspiration coming from?
I think I have the gift. I use that. I think that I have a gift that God has gifted me with to be able to see things before it happens. So I can be on a consultation with someone and they let me know what their business is about. They let me know the backstory. They let me know, this is where they could possibly see things going. Or if they don't know, I'm already seeing like 5 or 10 years ahead of what this business can be and how it can be, just strategized and everything. So when I'm having a conversation with someone, I can see videos in my head. I can already see it while I'm having a conversation with someone. I can already envision like boom, 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 boom. This is how we're gonna do it. And so when I get to the part of execution, then that goes to whereas I can start off just with a song, and I can hear a specific song and that'll already let me know how the video is going to be done, and I can hear certain sounds within the song, certain cuts in the song, certain beats, certain, you know, you just 808, however it is, I can be able to map out how I'm going to cut it, map out how I want to edit, and it has to tell a story, the intensity of it, the sounds in the background, the little bit of, you know, just voiceovers in the background, different words on the screen, just different, you know, cinematic sounds, swooshes, and all those different things. Like, it brings forth intensity. It makes you feel it. Like, I like for it to tell the story. Well, growing up, when we used to have our performances on the porch, it tapped into all of our senses. And I want people to be able to, when they see it, it taps into all your senses. You can look at something like, they cooking it. You know, I may have a client that's a chef. Like, this food look like this. I know it smell good, and I'm watching this video. People eat with their eyes, so I'm looking with my eyes. I can just hear the sizzle in the background. I can just feel the warmth. You know, it's just tapping into all those senses. Whereas that story that's being told is making you want to buy in. You want to be a part of it. You want to join in. You want to be able to support. I mean, for example, when you watch a St. Jude's commercial, it makes you, whether you got it or not, you want to give in some capacity, because you see the need, and you see the desperation, and you see how you can be able to add to in some form or fashion. So I think that's my, you know, that's how I do what I do, I guess. But I know, number one, it comes from God. I cannot take credit for it, because some stuff I do, I just like, what? Like, that was just something quick, you know, but the things that I do, I could take hours in my mind. It could be hours in my mind, days. I could see it before it happens. That right there, what you just put, that was just something, you know, but
Right.
in all
Just a quick
actuality,
snippet.
when
Okay.
I'm doing different productions and stuff, it just, you know, that's just how it flows, I guess.
Okay. Well, hopefully, you will join me on our platform with here on Industry Talk on a regular, consistent basis to talk about what it is that you have going on. But I want the people to know how to get in contact with KK. We're not going to give out any kind of phone numbers, but I do want you to push out the social media that you want them tapped into, where they can find you on the digital footprint, if in fact they need your assistance when it comes to promoting their business, when it comes to creating an advertisement for their business, pushing it out through the network and your digital, because you have an expansive digital footprint. You know, you have a good amount of followers. And when I say followers, or through social media, a lot of people think, okay, well, my number count is high. I got 15,000, 20,000 people that'll follow me, but only, you know, you only get 2 or 3 responses here or there. No, when KK pushes out information, when McCoy Marketing and Media pushes out information, you get responses, you get engagement, you get likes and shares, because you have a real audience. So before we get off of here, and I want you to speak to that as well, before we get off of here, I want you to let folks know where they can reach you through social media, or your email address, or how they get in contact with McCoy Marketing and Media, and the importance of having a real base, a real following of individuals that when there's a call to action, they really act.
Oh, yeah. So a way to contact me is via social media, Kaylin McCoy. That's my personal page. And then, of course, McCoy Marketing Media, that's our new page. I also have other pages, but I'll discuss that as, you know, as we continue this thing going. But I want to definitely lead y'all to Kaylin McCoy on all social media platforms, Kaylin McCoy, and then on Instagram, McCoy Marketing Media. And you can definitely just inbox me, and we'll go from there. And I also have a link to where you can, well, actually, no, you can just contact me directly through direct messenger, or
and you can send me that link, and I'll put it in the description of this interview, so that they can click the link and go to it as well. I didn't mean to cut you off, but go ahead.
Oh, oh, that's fine.
Okay.
And so I think to actually answer your last question about having a real following, I believe that it's more so important to have community over clicks. You can have a lot of following, you can have a lot of followers, you can have a lot of clicks, but if you're not having a real call to action, you're not having real engagement, you're not having people that really are bought into your mission and vision, I think a lot of that is in vain. We live in a popcorn society. We live in a quick society where everybody wants, that overnight success or, this to happen right away. I just mentioned how in this sector, I've been doing this since I was a child. I've been a part of arts since I was a child. And so these things aren't just things like this doesn't just happen the overnight. And, but what I like to prioritize is building that firm foundation and having true supporters that are really bought in, and not necessarily just bought in, but believe and want to be able to bring something to the table. I think that in the society that we're in, a lot of people, they say they support, or they may like and scroll, but to have people that when I say something, they really want to help. They really want to step in as much as they can and support in the way that in the capacity that they can. That's something that I'm appreciative about with my own personal brand. And it's a web, and it's trusted. And that's one thing that I'm grateful for, is that I truly have supporters on and off social media that truly support what I'm doing and really want me to be a part of what they have going on, so they can reach that level of having true community over just clicks.
Yes, indeed. Okay. I appreciate that. And we're going to do whatever it takes to assist in pushing McCoy Marketing and Media through the Primetime Network. That's Boss Talk Podcast 101, Boss Talk Podcast 101 Primetime. Like I said, Kaylin McCoy, that's KaylanMcCoy, McCoy Marketing and Media. Follow her on all social media platforms. Ms. KK, I appreciate you. It was great having a conversation with you, very in depth in terms of what it is that you're bringing to the table. And anyone that decides to do business with you is definitely going to get best consummate professional when it comes to whatever it is she does. And I'm talking about across the board, because I've noticed just in knowing you that you bring so much more to the table. It's not just, okay, well, I'm going to build you a marketing and media package and a pitch deck and push it out. No, I'm going to go above and beyond, because like I say, you're a proficient storyteller. And a lot of times people don't even know how to tell their own story, and you've become a master at that. So I appreciate you. I appreciate your efforts and everything that you got going on. I'm going to give you the last word and let folks know what it is that you need them to know about you and everything that you got going on. Timmy KK.
Yeah, so I've heard it's a quote, and I may butcher it because I'm a queen of butchering quotes and stuff, but it's like people don't care how much you know. That people don't really care about how much you know until they see how much you care. If you show that you care, then that's when they'll kind of care about how much you know. But with working with working with us is having a heart of caring about you, your family, your mission, your vision. Is deeper than just hiring someone to just do the job. The job is going to get done, but it's also going to be deeper, because we value relationships, we value connection, and we value storytelling once again. So I really appreciate you, Mr. Smith. I am so grateful to be able to be, just graced to be here on Industry Talk. And I look forward to seeing you guys again. Make sure y'all stay tuned, because it's so many caveats and nuances that's just going out throughout the world, and there's so many people that are speaking, but when you speak, who's listening, and when you speak, what are you speaking? And I think on here on this platform, there's a lot of great jewels, a lot of great gems that's being dropped Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. And so I think it's very important that you tune in and you listen and you learn. And so I'm just grateful. I thank you, and I'm excited to come back on.
Yes, indeed. I appreciate you, KK, and we're looking forward to making sure that your message gets out to the world. Thank you once again, KK, and have a blessed evening and see you soon.
All right. See ya.
Okay. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. That was Kayla McCoy here on Industry Talk with McCoy Marketing and Media. And moving right along, we're going to get Mr. William Hussey online with us here in just a moment about I Am King magazine. But I'm just letting you guys know that Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we're doing this thing, man. We're really putting it in your face, we're really putting it in your space, and we're giving it to you in a major way. When I say a major way, I'm talking about we're linking up with people who are really doing some phenomenal things. And of course, Mr. William Hussey is of course along the same line, cut from the same cloth, and is doing some major things in his region. We're going to talk about his magazine. They just had a release, a launch party, I think yesterday. We're going to talk about everything that he's got going on. So let me see if I can bring Mr. Hussey to the stage and see if we can't get this thing going as well. Let's see. Okay, we have it. There we go. What's going on? Can you hear me?
How you doing, brother? How you doing?
I am doing fantastic, man. I'm doing fantastic. I appreciate you, man. Let me give you a single screen here. Let me give you a single screen so that the people can see you and what you got going on. I'm here now talking with Mr. William Hussey. Is it Hussey or Hussey?
Hussey. Hussey. Hussey.
Hussey. Okay, good stuff, man. Good stuff. I was introduced to Mr. Hussey by my good friend Terry Allred, who is out of the Carolinas, over there in North Carolina. And he said, "Gee, you need to talk with this young brother, man. He's got some amazing things going on." And he's launched his own magazine, I Am King. So if you can, Brother Hussey, give me, and that's just one of the businesses that we're focusing on, because you just launched 2026 magazine. Of course, Terry's in the magazine. He's got a feature in the magazine. So give a little bit of a background. Let the people know who William Hussey is, where you're from, and what you got going on. I like that T-shirt too, brother.
Thank you, brother.
We got them on the website for sale.
Oh yeah, for sure. We gotta get them out there, man. We got plenty of merch for you. So once we get them together, I'll make sure you get some in all different colors.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So I'm William Hussey, Mr. 365 himself. The 365 comes from I can't stop, won't stop, man. And I stay pretty busy. I'm out of North Carolina, Greensboro to be exact, south side of town, and a little bit on the southwest side of town growing up, man. But I'm down here doing major things. I seen a need in our community, and also a need in our culture, man. I seen a need that black men needed a space. We needed a platform, not only to where we can be vulnerable, but to where it's a safe space for us to be our authentic selves. And I know as well as that we all go through many things in life as black men. You already walk out the door, you already have a target on your back. You profiled a lot of times. It's this negative stigma that follows us throughout our life, man. And I just wanted to create a platform to highlight brothers in our community that's doing big things, that's doing major things, that's giving back to the community, but also people that have transitioned from their upbringing or their trials and tribulations or the adversities of growing up in the poverty areas of town, and that has a redemption story, that has a testimony, that has a transition or a pivot in their life to where they became this wonderful, beautiful man, and now a king, you know, and we represent kings, and I make sure I greet people as a king and I leave people as a king. And every time I'm in passing with another brother, man, because I want us to understand the king in us, you know. So I created a magazine called I Am King Magazine, as you can see on my shirt, if everybody can see that, the I Am King brand itself. But the I Am King Magazine is focused on highlighting the purpose, promise, and prosperity of Black men in our community, man. It's just highlighting, giving them a stage, giving them a platform or publication, I would say, for them to speak their mind. You know, everybody doesn't have the same story, but everybody has a story. And that's the great thing about I Am King, because it's for all ages, it's for all walks of life when it comes to the Black men and the transition from a boy to a man to a king. You know, you got some people in the magazine that's been locked up for like my brother and my mentor and one of my good friends, Terry Allred, you know, doing that many years of prison, 32 years in prison. You got people did 10 years, 20 years, you know, and it's a redemption story there. You know, God gave him another chance, and we're going to support that chance, any chance we get. So that's what it's all about. You have, you know, we got Frankie Jones, the county commissioner, on the front page, you know, giving back, showing that Black men can thrive in any industry or in any lane, you know. So if you see Terry Allred, you know, in his past and his story and testimony in the same magazine as the county commissioner, that speaks volume. To me, it does. And I know it speaks volume to the rest of the kings in our community and just our community in general, man, because that's a great thing. And that's what it's all about. It's about mixing it up. Nothing measures us by our success, by our finances, or anything like that. We're all equal. You know, we're all equal. We don't measure our friendships or brotherhoods about how much money we got or, you know, the levels we on and things like that. We are all equal. And that's what this book represents. This magazine represents, I'm sorry. It's equality amongst Black men and Black kings. So you got Muscle in there, which is a boxer out of where we're from, Greensboro, North Carolina. You have, like I said, ex-drug dealers from county commissioners, from sports. You have pastors in there. You have young men in there. You have all types of these guys in there with different testimonies and stories, man. And it's just a beautiful thing. And this is our second issue. We did the first issue back in 2024. I wanted to get this one out around September 2025, but we took our time with it. We created a great product, and we're getting a great response from it. We had the launch last night for the I Am King magazine, volume 1, issue 2, and that was a success as well, man. We did our thing, and it was a great turnout. We're getting a great response, like I said, and we just feeding the community, man. Great things that kings are representing. You know, all industries. We will all wear different hats. You know what I'm saying? So when you see it as a collective, it shows a Black man in a sense of that they don't represent it in primetime media. You know, when they show us, it's all negativity. So this magazine and I Am King, the brand, represents the Black man as it's supposed to be displayed, you know, how we are supposed to be represented as the kings we are. So it's just a beautiful thing, man. It's a great opportunity, man. And this thing started 2 years ago, but I just created the first magazine in 2024. And you know, I know we're gonna get into some more stuff, so I don't want to get ahead of you, but so it's been a success ever since, man. And I'm just planning to go global with it as we grow, man. It's just an exciting thing. We do a couple thousand every time we launch, and we're doing good. And that's just from a local market. You know, we're trying to branch out and connect with people all over the United States, because it's people in Texas, it's people in New York, it's people in New Jersey, it's people in Philadelphia, it's people all over the United States that has a story. And we want to connect with some good brothers or some like-minded brothers that's willing to be down with the movement, man. And that's how it works for us, yeah.
Okay, so I'm not going to let you just speed bump past over the launch party, because I saw some of the clips from the launch party, and it was phenomenal. It was packed. The party was live. Everybody was out there sharp dressed, looking good, smelling good.
Yes, sir.
You know, having a real good time. You know, representing the magazine well. You know, from all of the individuals that were participants in this edition, as well as friends and family. So talk to me about pulling that together and making that a success.
Oh, man, you know, when we do these launches, man, it doesn't take a lot of time, because once we produce the magazine, once they come off the print and we have them on hand, we start planning in. And it's not, you don't have a lot of time before you get them out, because the anticipation of it. So once we get it, that's when the show starts. That's when we start. Okay, boom, set everything up. So we have a blueprint that we use, and we use the same venue every time, which is Trust Live Wine Bar here in Greensboro, North Carolina. And it's a nice spot, man. It has a good ambiance. It has a good, the capacity is good. The food is good. The wine and the beverage and, the alcohol, you have a full bar. So it's just one of those locations that's intimate, that's sexy, and that represents the king in us. So we always go with that location. But shout out to Mike Clark, which is the owner of Trust Live Wine Bar and Lounge here in Greensboro, North Carolina. Shout out to him for hosting it for us 2 years in a row, man. And it's a beautiful setup that he has. It doesn't take much to set up and decorate. All we do is add the I Am King theme to it. And we bring our presence and our energy on top of that. We keep the champagne flowing, man. And we have tables of magazines laid out all over the vicinity. And we also have memorabilia, like pictures of us from the old magazines and frames and stuff like that, chess pieces laying around. We have banners up. We have the backdrop with the I Am King logo, step and repeat all over it, man, so people can take pictures. And it's all part of branding. Once people come and take pictures, you don't even have to ask where they're at. They know where they're at when they see the I Am King backdrop. But the release was a success, man. It was just an incredible time. And the reason for the launch, when we do the launch and signing, is for people to get more in tune with who we are. A lot of people might not know half the people in the magazine, because we all come from different walks of life. It's not saying that they don't have a following. It's just that everybody doesn't know who you are. You know what I'm saying? So we want to be intimate with the consumer, with our audience and with people that support us. And we want to make sure that we're communicating who we are and what we represent to the fullest extent, man. So we'll bring most of the kings up, let them share a little bit of their story of who they are, give an introduction for the people that don't know. And the response from that is incredible, because it's a lot of people that's there, like I said before, that don't know who these guys are. You have politicians, you have city officials, you have people from all walks of life that might be entrepreneurs in different industries that don't tap into the industries of the kings that's in the magazine. So for them to have that moment to explain who they are makes people, it draws people in even more to want to know more about them, because you're only getting a minute or two to share who you are. So once they get a snippet of it, they drawn in to want to know more, and they go in and read the article more aggressive, you know what I'm saying? Or they'll look them up and follow them on social media, or Google them and see more information on them, depending on where they at in their journey in life. But it gives a time for us to speak to the people, to do Q&As, to be hands-on with what the magazine is about, our mission and vision, and what we represent, man. And it's always a great turnout, and it's always a great opportunity to sell magazines, So when people come out, it's always free entry. We just encourage people to support the cause and support the organization and the movement, man, of I Am King. So we just ask that people purchase a magazine, and then you have the opportunity to get it signed by all the kings. That's the great part about it. And the kings get to feel like celebrities as they are, and they have a time to sign and date a magazine that they're in with their signature on it, man. And it just adds more value to who they are. It boosts their confidence, man. And it's a great thing. And it's also great for the consumer, the audience and the people that's reading the publication. They get, they have that memorabilia, they have that signature on that that'll last a lifetime. So it's just a beautiful thing. So even if the king goes to the next level in a year or two, and you see him on TV doing something different, or over here or over there, you remember him from the I Am King brand and the I Am King magazine. So that's the legacy that we're trying to leave around, man. It's not just for us, it's for our kids, and our grandkids, kids. So that's what we're trying to do for the future generations, to show that love and to show us in a different light that they can follow and set that example for them as well. Not only our kids, but the kids in the community and just the youth all over, man. So it's just a beautiful thing when you had the opportunity to launch and release your magazine in a setting like that and invite the city out and get a turnout like that with all that support and love in one room, man. The energy is impactful. And it's amazing, man. So yeah, one of these days we got to invite you out to one of them, man, so you can get a feel for it and a vibe for it, man, because we're going to be global in a minute. So we'll be having them all over the United States. So it's a beautiful thing as we're growing. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Most that.
Definitely,
and
definitely.
You guys are in stone, basically, journalistically, putting people's stories, history, and embedding that into the fabric of society through what you're doing. So that's a great segue into purpose, promise, and prosperity.
Yeah. It's the purpose, power, and promise of Black men, but the prosperity is the feel I added to it, because like Jeremiah 29:11, like it says, the Lord says He knows the plans He has for us, to prosper us, and that's one of the things that sticks out to me with Black men is the prosperity that we have, because I didn't know who I was, man. Growing up, we all got a story, we all got a past, man, and I didn't even understand what prosperity was or who I was. You know what I'm saying? So when I came in tune with myself, I had to play my part as a vessel and stewardess for the mission God has me on to, make sure other men, Black men and kings identify with who they are and understand what prosperity really is, man, because, it's true fulfillment. It's that joy that you can't give yourself. Only God can give you, man. You know what I'm saying? Or your higher power or whatever have you. But it's just a blessing, man, when you can align with your assignment here on earth and serve your purpose and walk in your ministry every day. And that's what I represent,
It's fantastic, man. It's fabulous. So what is the game plan for 2026? You had a release in 2024.
Yeah,
you made sure that 2025 everything was on point for 2026. So 2026, as you begin to push this edition, how do you move forward, and are you going to have another release for the magazine 6 months down the line, or are you going to wait until 2027? What's the game plan?
Yeah, so the game plan for us, man, see, like I said, originally this magazine per se was supposed to be out October, November of last year, but we pushed it back because we wanted to do a little bit more to it. This magazine itself has 68 pages, and the first one we did had 52. So we're expanding. It's more people coming on board, which that was the goal in the first place, for people to join the movement, seeing what we're doing, loving what we're doing, and wanting to be a part of what we're doing. So going into 2026, by us releasing this on January 4th, which was yesterday, I'll probably do one more, which you hit it on the head, probably 6 months from now, around June, we'll be doing another one. I was going to set up a system for us to do one every quarter, which would have been 4 a year. But I think this year I'm gonna fall back and just do 2, because the content is so incredible. We spent so much time on it, curating it to what it is. It's a masterpiece. So I feel like for us to reach more audience, let's focus on this one magazine and let's focus on different markets. Let's see how we can push it out to different states, different regions. Even in international, we have a couple of people, but I want to expand that a little bit more too. So we're just trying to figure out ways to market it in different markets, get it to different audience. Because in my magazines, I don't put no dates. I don't put no dates and times. Even if you want to buy advertisement and you're having an actual event, this one I made an exception because I'm actually hosting the red carpet at this award show. So I allowed the GOAT Awards, which is a popular award show that we have in our city. And I host the red carpet with one of my podcasts, Not Your Average Podcast. And this is our 4th year. So I allowed them to do an ad in here for their purposes because they support everything that we do at I Am King. And I'm actually nominated for Philanthropist of the Year at the GOAT Awards. So I didn't mind. I gave them a slide. But normally I don't put no dates in here. So like I said, it's timeless. It's a masterpiece. So I just want to spend more time on pushing it. The last one we did good numbers, but also I felt like I stayed in a local market. So with this one, I want to expand it and take it all over the world. So I want to spend more time on the marketing of it and the business aspect of it. So I will push it back to about 6 months from now. So about June, we'll come out with another one. But to answer your question, I had to say that. I'm sorry about that. But to answer your question, I have the Queen I Am magazine coming out. We probably do a photo shoot this month, and we'll have that out in March. We have the I Am King Men's Empowerment coming up in March 21st. We're looking at which the empowerments I'll explain when we get into that. But it's a great thing when we do these empowerments, man. And I didn't even have one for 2025. So the anticipation on this one will be major. We do it at the Cultural Arts Museum downtown in our city. It's a big theater room. It can sit, we have bleachers, like theater seats in there, just like a movie theater. It's a nice facility, a big stage. So we put on a nice production at that facility. We had the I Am King dinner in 2024. So the anticipation on this one's going to be big. So we got the I Am King Men's Empowerment. We have the Queen I Am magazine for the women, for the queens. That's going to be phenomenal because this is our second one with I Am King, and it was through the roof. And I feel like the queens are like, well, what's up with us? When we gonna do something? When y'all gonna do something for us? Or can we come to the empowerments? Or what can women do to help y'all? They always, and believe it or not, we have more women volunteers or women help or more women to pour into the organization and what we do more than anything else. You know, more than a man, anything. Women support us the most, and we're appreciative of that. So this is our us showing our appreciation to them. So we're going to do the Queen I Am, and we're going to drop 2 of them a year too as well. And then 2027, I'm doing 4 of each. So we'll do 4 I Am Kings, and we'll do 4 Queen I Ams as well. But we also have the I Am King play coming out this year. I have the I Am King Marathon coming up. I have the United We Ball, which is you know, the city I'm from. I unite every side of town, and we come together on the south side. And Little Harlem is what we call it on Sushma Street. That's a block we work on. We do a lot of work on Sushma Street to give back to the neighborhood. I stayed over there for 5 years in Hampton Homes, so we do a lot of engagement with the community, a lot of activism, and a lot of give backs right there on Sushma Street. It's a very important staple in the community, man. So a lot doesn't happen there, but we represent it in a positive way now and giving back and bringing that old school feel back to Little Harlem and Sushma Street and Hampton Homes on the south side. So a lot of our work in the community is there. That's like our office. That's where we at all the time. So we have that coming up as well. And I'm also we are also doing a Queen I Am and I Am King empowerment together, which will be the women and the men coming together. And that's all just for the first 2-3 quarters of the year. And we haven't even got to the fourth quarter yet. So I stay pretty busy, man. But we got a lot coming up. I also got a book coming out next month with my brother Tevin Whiteside, which is called Hussy Hustle, which is a phenomenal book, man, giving back to the Black men and just the community, period. It's 100 ways to get paid. And what we talk about in there is just, it's a lot of logic. It's a lot of philosophy based off of just the things that we all go through as an average person, and we go through day to day. But we want to teach people about credit, how to manage your money. But a lot of this stuff is coming from a biblical standpoint. So we you know, we say what we say, but we back it up with scripture, or we back it up with fact checks. You know what I'm saying? So it's an incredible book, man. Right. So we're supposed to launch that in February as well, man. So I got my hands full, man, and that's not even counting the stuff outside of just me and everything I'm attached to. So yeah, man, we rolling pretty hard, man.
Okay, so let me ask you this, Brother Hussey. Are you, because I see the magazine itself. Do you have that in electronic form or format, or are you thinking about doing a digital edition to push out via the internet?
Yeah, so we're lining up and putting it on Amazon this week. And I wanted to do the launch first and have the physical copy and do the hand-to-hands for the launch of it and for the first week. And then we're going on Amazon. But when we put it on Amazon, we're going to do the digital and the physical copy as well. You know how it goes on Amazon. You can order it and they'll, you know, ship it to you or whatever, the physical copy. But you also can do the audio book and the digital copy as well. And this will be our first time. The first one, we never did that. You know, that was our first rodeo. So we were just trying to, you know, see how this thing was going to work. We just jumping off the porch and that thing, we hit a home run, man. That thing took off. So we was like, wow. So, you know, we still learning, we still growing. And, you know, we just taking it one step at a time. We don't want to, you know, be head over heels or get ahead of ourselves. So we just learned the game. But on this one, we are putting it on Amazon, and that way they can get digital and a physical and the audio as well.
Fantastic. Yeah, well, tell the people, I'm not gonna hold you long, man. We've been having some good conversation. I appreciate you coming on with us, man, and talking to us about it. And I want you to come back and keep us posted on everything that you got going on throughout the year. So if we can get this on a regular basis, I'd love to do that as well. But I need you to let the people know how to get in contact with William Hussey on all your social media platforms. And if you have a business line or business number, because I want you to put your personal number out there. If you have a business line or number that you want to push out to the people, you can actually push that out there as well. But how do people get in contact with you for advertisement within the magazine, business product placement within the magazine, or even coming out and sitting down with you to do an interview with you to possibly get placement in the magazine, if in fact their story is worthy enough to actually be deemed, you know, something credible to be put into the magazine? Talk to the people, man. How do they get in contact with William Hussey?
Yeah, man. So y'all can reach me on Instagram at William Hussey 365. That's William Hussey 365, the number 3, 6, and 5 after my name, William Hussey. WILLIAMHUSSEY 365. That's on Instagram. And you can reach me on Facebook or catch up with me on Facebook, William Hussey, just my name, William Hussey. And also you catch me on YouTube at William Hussey 365. Outside of that, they can reach me at William Hussey LLC at gmail.com. That's William Hussey LLC at gmail.com. If they want to inquire about ads, if they want to inquire about being featured in the magazine, even the cover or the back cover, whatever have you, man, just reach out to me at William Hussey LLC at gmail.com. And like I said, just follow me on Instagram, William Hussey 365 on Instagram, and William Hussey on Facebook, man. And I'll be happy to talk with you guys or do business with y'all. Like I said, if it's for ad placement, if it's for to be featured in a magazine as one of the kings or queens, because we have the new edition coming up and we are looking for queens. So if any of the ladies want to be in a feature in that magazine, hit me up. Like I said, William Hussey LLC at gmail.com, or you can just inbox me and follow me on Instagram at William Hussey 365, and that's William Hussey on Facebook as well. And I'll be excited to have y'all reach out to me. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. William Hussey, man, you're doing some amazing things out there in Greenville, North Carolina. Big shout out to my brother Terry Allred for introducing us and giving us an opportunity to connect and talk about your vision and what it is that you're actually bringing to the table, and helping young men in your community, because that's one part of it that you didn't get opportunity to talk about. What you're doing with, building your community. So before we get off this thing together, because I'm gonna let you close it out with your final words. Speak to that part of it as it relates to you helping community and you taking young men and building these princes into kings. So talk to us about that.
Oh man, that's the beautiful part of it, man. That's the beauty in it, man. When you can touch the community, because you're nothing without the community. And I want people to understand that. A lot of people create organizations or nonprofits, even for-profit business, for the dollar. A lot of, the main thing. People create these organizations just for funding, just to get the money. Even for-profits, they do it just to get the money, man. One thing we do, we come out of pocket for everything. We don't get no funding from nobody. You know what I'm saying? We might have sponsorships, like with the magazine, we do ads, but we don't get funding for nobody. But at the same time, we pour back in the community because it's a passion of ours. It's our purpose. You know what I'm saying? And it's our responsibility. Some of the same neighborhoods that we tore down or that we come from, it's a beautiful thing to go back and rebuild those communities. It's a beautiful thing to go back and reach one, teach one scenario, So when we're in the communities, man, it's a wonderful thing. And that's the beauty in it. And that's one thing that people, I believe, see in myself is he has the people, the people trust him, the people believe in him, and the people follow him. And that could be scary to politicians. That could be scary to city officials because they trying to figure out, well, what is he doing different? I'm being genuine. I'm walking in my purpose. I'm passionate about what I do, and I don't play about it. When I'm out there in the community, I'm out there because it's in my heart. You know what I'm saying? I'm out there because I know these young kids need help, and they need role models, and they need somebody to set the example and somebody to step up to the plate. A lot of things that I do in the neighborhood is just stuff that people could have been doing. It doesn't take rocket science. It don't take a genius. And let me name a couple of things that we did. We did Trunk or Treat, Susman Street. I did probably 3 events in the past 4 or 5 months. And like I say, Trunk or Treat on Susman Street, Thanksgiving on Susman Street, which is our Thanksgiving give back. All these are the first annuals we did this year. In the United We Ball basketball tournament, we had over 700 people out there for the United We Ball basketball tournament, and we had over 300 people. We fed over 300 people with Thanksgiving on Susman Street, and we had over 500 people for the Halloween Trunk or Treat on Susman Street. And these are just things that we come out of pocket for. My analogy of it, or my philosophy of it, if it's 10 of us, if we all put up $100, you got $1,000. It doesn't take much to get candy for kids. It doesn't take much to chip in and buy a meal and put a meal together and cook it up and set it up real nice for them to come out and enjoy a hot meal on Thanksgiving or a couple of days before Thanksgiving. It doesn't take much to utilize the court that's been in the neighborhood forever. And you want to know something, what I did with that court to get it right for the basketball tournament? I demanded we put up new nets. I got it repainted. They wouldn't bring out the bleachers, Parks and Rec, because they had another event, but that's how they do it. But that's okay. But we do these things and we set it up the best way we can, and it always turns out a success. But I wanted to give a rundown on some of the things so people are familiar with what we do in the neighborhood. But that's what it's all about. When we're walking through the neighborhood, even giving out flyers, you should see how the kids run up to us. It might be 10, 11 black men just walking through the neighborhood. And, you know, you might have some people think we're doing negative things. And that happened one time. And the police told them, like, oh, that's I Am King. They always over here. They'll get out here passing out flyers for an event that they're having for the neighborhood in a couple of days. They're not a problem. They're not going to bother you, man. You know, because people are calling in thinking it's gang related or something like that because the neighborhoods we're in. But also, man, it's a beautiful thing to see those kids run up and just actually be so excited to help us pass out flyers, ask us questions. Or what games are we going to have this time? Or y'all going to have the movie screen up like y'all did last time? Can I play in the basketball tournament? Whatever it is, man. And that's what we do it for. And it's exciting, man. Even if it's a kid's birthday, just giving them $20 out your pocket, they look forward to that. So anytime we're in the neighborhood, they running up to us, man. They know who we are. And that's what we do it for. It's not for shine. It's not for the camera. It's not to get likes or for people to see, hey, look what I'm doing. It's for them because they know that they can depend on us to come through from a positive aspect, you know. And some of them might have a single parent. Some of them might have both parents or whatever have you. But it's just a thing that we have with us, and the consistency, I believe, is what gains the kids' trust. But that's what it's all about, because if you're not giving back or you're not helping somebody along the way, what are we doing? You know, you can respect people with money. We don't care about money. We don't respect people just because they have money. We respect the struggle you overcame and who you helped on your way up scenario. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the things that we represent. Right. You know, who are you helping? You could be a millionaire, but if you over there in Beverly Hills and ain't doing nothing for where you came from, or the people that's in a lower income household or area in our city, then what are you doing? It's no good for nobody else. So we just try to create opportunity and pour back in the community every chance we get, and involve the kids in everything we do. It's about the kids, because if we can set the example and they can see us doing positive, that's going to influence them to do positive. And it's a lot of things they can get into. So if we create an atmosphere at the neighborhood park or just walking through the community that's positive, that they attract to, that they're interested in, that we're doing our job, man. And that's what it's all about. And even the elderly in the community, they love when we sit out there. We set the tables and tents out for them to come out there for Thanksgiving, man. And even with us just being in the neighborhood, when we passing out flyers, they feel safe. You know what I'm saying? Because they know we represent positivity. You know what I'm saying? So all of that in the whole just makes my heart melt. And that's the purpose I serve. And that's what, when I say I walk in my ministry, that's what it's all about. You know, it's helping the people of the community. Yeah. So
good deal. That's what's up. That's what's up, Houston. Now, look, man, I'm going to hold you to it now. You know what I mean? I want you to come back. I want you to be, whenever you have something that you need to disseminate to the people, to the public, just getting the word out about what you got going on. I need you to hit me up and come back on the show and let's talk about it.
Hey, I got you, man. Most definitely. You got my word on that, man. I appreciate you and thank you for the opportunity, man. And I wish you much success in 2026 and many more years to come, man. I like what you're doing. Keep doing your thing. And I like your product and brand too. It's a great platform, man. And I like what you're doing. So keep it up.
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. And I Am King. I'm here with the proprietor of I Am King magazine, the I Am King movement, the I Am Queen movement. Brother Houston out of Greensboro, North Carolina, is doing some major things. And before I get off of here with you, my brother, I'm going to give you the last word. Go ahead and talk to him.
Yeah, man. So, and everything that you have going on in life, man, I just want to talk to people right quick. It's like, because we're all going through a lot of things right now. And in the way that the world is, man, mental health is real. And I'm just want to let people know, man, you always find somebody to talk to, find some type of outlet. Something for me is the gym. I love going to the gym, man. I used to suppress all my feelings. I used to suppress anything that I went through. And I hold it in and self-sabotage myself, man, especially to the Kings, man, because a lot of brothers, we walk around and we hold this stuff in and we carry all this luggage and all this baggage for days and days and years and time, for years at a time. And we don't let it out, man. And one thing I've learned with creating I Am King and that safe place of vulnerability that the men can have, man, is doing major work in their household, even with starting with themselves, their family, their children and wives and girlfriends and things of that nature, man. So mental health is real, man. It's always good to go talk to somebody. It's always good to have a therapist. I have a therapist. Find somebody to talk to, because we go through a lot as Black men. And we only have each other to depend on at times, man. And I am my brother's keeper. So I want to motivate other brothers to help other brothers. If you in a position to help another brother to get on another level, do so. We don't need no more gatekeepers. It's not our job to keep opportunities from other people. You know what I'm saying? I feel like reach one, teach one, like I said before. And we're here to help each other. We're here to serve each other. And that's what I Am King represents, man. It's creating these platforms and creating opportunities for another Black man to succeed and thrive for him and his family as well, man. So I just preach unity in the community, man. And you can't spell community without unity, man. And that's what I represent. And that's what I want to spread tonight on your platform is unity in the community, man. And it takes all of us to play our part. You know, it's a lot of violence going on in our community and in our city, man. And we have to step up. We have to be the one to say enough is enough. And we have to do our part, you know. We can't sit back and wait for city officials and politicians. And, you know, I didn't see, you know, sometimes we see things and look the other way. And it's certain things that I feel like we should tackle and we should jump on board on when it comes to changing our community. Just because we don't have funding, we can't sit back and complain about it. What we gonna do about it? I'm a man that finds solutions, not excuses. You know what I'm saying? And I want to spread that tonight too. It's time to find a solution to the problems that we're having in our community and in our own lives versus making excuses, man. It's a big world out here and we all can thrive in it. It's room and money for all of us. It's opportunity for all of us. It's blessings and prosperity for all of us, man. My blessings ain't gonna stop because you was blessed, you know, and your blessings ain't gonna stop because I was blessed. We all got our own blessings. And what's for me is for me, and what's for you is for you. And I want everybody to understand that tonight, man, that take what God gave you and make the best of it. You know, quit complaining about what you don't have and be appreciative about what you do have. And once the you see that, you know, they'll be more in tune and more influenced to do that as well. And it's a lot of things going on social media and the music, man. And I listen to it and watch it too. You know, I'm not innocent of none of it, but you got to know, you know, what's good for you, what's conducive to your growth, what can help you grow and not tear you down or keep you stagnant or keep you in chains and bondages. You know, we want to promote positivity and for people to thrive. So, you know, we all got a cell phone. We all have free will. You know, if you find yourself looking up negative stuff versus positive stuff, then you need to change. I want better. I don't want to be bitter. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I like to search for now in my life. And I just want to preach that and spread that to your viewers as well, man. You know, we all get one life to live. And we need to live the best of it, man. So that's what I want to leave the people with tonight, man. But thank you for the opportunity. I'm William Hussey, 365 from Greensboro, North Carolina. And I am the director and CEO of I Am King, man. I appreciate you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Man, much blessings to you, your family, and I appreciate you for joining us, Brother William Hussey. And looking forward to continuing this awesome relationship and helping you build with what you already have going on and becoming a true staple, as you say, globally, not just in Greensboro, North Carolina. All right.
There you go.
Appreciate you, sir. William. Appreciate you, my brother. I'll talk with you later, man.
Appreciate you too. Thank you, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, man. Look. Industry Talk, Primetime Podcast is doing some major things. We're doing major numbers. We're doing major conversations with some phenomenal people. Tonight is just a very quick glimpse and example of that. We had Sister Kaylin McCoy on this evening talking about McCoy Marketing and Media and the blessings that she's going to be bringing to individuals moving into 2026 and beyond. And of course, William Hussey and I Am King in his magazine and everything that he's got going on in Greensboro, North Carolina. Like I said, phenomenal people doing outstanding and amazing things, wanting to benefit and uplift and add to and pour into community. That in itself is just profound. The individuals that we have lined up for you are just amazing people wanting to do and are doing amazing things. And at the same time, aren't trying to hold that information from you. Like Hussey was saying, you know, you're not trying to gatekeep. You're not trying to hold it on reserve. This is just for me. No, they're trying to let everyone know that the opportunities and possibilities to succeed in a major way is out there for everyone. How are you going to take advantage of it? Are you going to reach out to Caleb McCoy and McCoy Marketing and Media and get yourself into a position to help boost your business and move the needle with your brand? Are you going to get with an I Am King, William Hussey, to help promote and boost and build your business and your brand through his magazine, you see, and his network and his community service efforts? And these are just small glimpses of the conversations that I'm having with these phenomenal individuals. And there's so much more to unpack in their lives and in their stories that, you know, a 30-minute segment that I normally do, 30 minutes to an hour that I normally do, has turned into 2 hours. Just from having great conversation with people doing phenomenal things. As God speaking to you through these people and touching you and giving you their anointing, their blessing, and wanting you to participate and share in their greatness. Because a lot of times we don't want to pat each other on the back. We don't want to tell each other, hey, man, you're doing a great job. You're looking good, man. I appreciate what you're doing for the community. I appreciate what you're doing with your business and how you're representing it. So, like I said, 2026, we got our foot on their necks. We are not letting up all gas. We done tore the brake out of the vehicle. It's nonstop. Motion is nonstop. Action. And we're going to have a really good time this year presenting to the general public everything that we're bringing to the table. Everything that we're bringing to the table. I want to give a big shout out to everyone who has joined us tonight on live, from Terry Allred, RX Steen, Samoa Gems 1998. How you doing, beautiful? Kaylin McCoy, Terry Allred, Hit the Streets, Magnificent 77, my brother Keith Wallace 305. Make sure you follow him on Instagram. Azo Capone, one of my artists that I deal with through Freeway Records out of the Carolinas. And hey, man, I appreciate all of you. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And we're here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We are live at 5. I'm getting ready to go hit the gym, headed to Planet Fitness to get it in, because my wife and I will work out every night. Of course, during these holidays and coming into the new year, I put on a little bit from all the eating that I was doing. So now I'm going to work it out. If in fact you need to reach out and get Keith Wallace in your section, we will put you in contact with Regina Lindsay, his business manager. But reach out to me. If in fact you want to get Keith for a collaboration, you want him to come perform, if in fact you want him to be in your city, this is for you.
Mr. Bars himself, the messenger, Keith Wallace, touching down in your city. Let's work. Lock in for features, meet and greet, live performances, product promotion, and speaking engagements. Keith Wallace is unloading a full clip with his lyrical content. His testimony is life-changing. Every word he speaks is truth. Visit our website at keithwallace.org and sign up for our newsletter today. For information and availability, contact Big G at 808-225-9063.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Make sure you reach out to us. Get Keith Wallace in your city. And if, in fact, you want to touch base with one of the funniest men on the planet, my man, comedian Jarrell Braswell, who is in regular rotation on the I Got Motion tour with our good friend Bubba Dub, reach out to me. Hit me on the DM. Hit me on the IG. Hit me on the email at clientsupport@gemsit.org. That's clientsupport@gems, GEMSIT.org. And we've been here, we've been talking, we've been doing our thing, and we had some great conversation tonight. Last but not least, before I get off this thing, the earlier conversation, we were talking about what's going on with the UN Security Council. Follow up with the first part of that conversation and give me your input. Give me your insight. Let me know how you're feeling about what's really going on in the world today, in our world today. Necessary, unnecessary. You have some mixed emotions about it. And as you've seen, they went and, captured or snatched the president of Venezuela off of his sovereign land. So you tell me what's coming down the pipeline in the near future. You read the teas. Yes. Where are we moving in this world of ours? And how do we begin to stand up and speak out about what we really feel needs to take place in a country of prosperity? Because America is whom all of the other countries look at for a righteous path. Whether you believe it or not, we've always been Big Brother. We've always been the one that would be there to make sure that the world stayed safe. The entire world stayed safe from tyranny, from oppression, although we were spurned from that in itself. But our democratic republic turned itself into and positioned itself into a society of individuals that wanted to protect sovereign nations and independency in a democratic republic. So let's pay attention to what's really going on globally. And if in fact you have an opinion about it, I want to hear about it. Shoot me some information and let's talk about it. Let's get into it. And like we always do about this time, big shout out to my brother ECO, the official Miss Jamaica Boss Talk Podcast 101, Boss Talk Podcast 101 Primetime. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to all of our networks. You are now tuned in to Industry Talk here on the Prime Time Network. So let me hit you with what we do about this time.
It's about that time. We decided we were going to do something a little bit different today, add some different elements to what we already do. It's going down there and trying to figure out ways to break the algorithm. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe to all our channels, all our different platforms. Boss Talk 101, Boss Talk 101 Prime Time. It's crazy. We got to get it done, though. Boss Talk 101, where the boss is talking.
Boss Talk Podcast 101, Boss Talk Podcast 101 Primetime, where the bosses talk. This is Industry Talk, and thank you for joining us for another great episode. And with me, it's always about health, wealth, wellness. Stay dangerous, beautiful people. Stay dangerous. You've been locked into another great episode of Primetime Pod. Major salute to our guest. And remember, ain't no time like primetime. This is your main man, Big G, with Industry Talk. And remember to like, share, and subscribe to our network, Primetime Pod. And as always, beautiful people, it's about health, wealth, and wellness.
Primetime Pod. Make sure you check it out.
Why the fuck you think he missing? He say that.
Yeah, Centerville is a whole lot.
Now I'm not trying to get a little messy with you.
Time is money.
They go trap.